Silikios here. I am having episodes, I am getting triggered, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't expect you to. I have post traumatic stress disorder from war specifically, and so it's very tricky around time of holidays, specifically New Year's and the 4th of July, especially in America, because they use fireworks to celebrate explosions, big happiness, colors. It's like everyone's happy except me, and I've tried to desensitize myself the best that I could from the sound of that. I don't know if you can hear it, hopefully you can't, but I have tried to desensitize myself from everything related to war. The reason being is that I don't necessarily want to be having a quote unquote normal day and then get triggered all of a sudden with no precursor to it. And so I have to tell people that I meet that, yo, by the way, don't do any scaring of me, don't loud sounds near me, don't explosions, don't firework, don't fires, because all of those are triggers related to war. Because if you don't know about this, war has a lot of explosions, specifically the one that I've had the misfortune of being part of or being involved in. Regardless of that, in the city that I'm currently in, all of the month of July, the 1st, specifically the 3rd and the 4th of July, there's a lot of explosions, and I've managed to desensitize myself fully to when there's the 4th of July. I've already have the preconceived notion that I'm probably going to get triggered. Maybe I'm going to hear something that's gonna trigger a memory. I'm going to cry, I'm going to freak out, I'm going to not be able to control myself due to a traumatic event that happened while I was in war. Now, I've managed to contact the hospital in my city, which also happens to be the same branch where my current therapist is at, and I'm pretty sure he does not want to hear about it. I don't want to talk about it because war is not fun, and movies lie. And the idea that I somehow am to blame for that is irritating, to say the least. And that's one of the misfortunes that I've had with previous therapists and previous people in my life in general that say the most unproductive, unhelpful thing, which is like, there's other people that experienced war too. You're not the only one that experienced war. First of all, fuck you. Second of all, I do know that I was in war and I saw plenty of other people around my age, older and younger, in the same exact war, so I am not deluded to think that I'm the only person who has post-traumatic stress disorder specifically from war. I am scared, I am terrified, and I hate having PTSD from war, and I hate even more when people tell me, you're not the only one. Like, of course I know I'm not the only one. I'm not stupid. I have a set of eyes not working very well right now because of my MS, but I still have eyes that I could perceive certain things as a child. Or as an adult. I know there's wars going on all the time. I was not the only person. I am not the only person. I've never claimed to be, and that's the part that gets to me. I've never claimed to be the only person who's experienced war. Not to mention, there was wars. The one that I was in started before, and what happened after, during my whole life. There will always be a war. In fact, there's a war going on right now where it's in the Middle East, and most people don't care because it's like, well, we don't see it, especially in America. If we don't see it, it doesn't bother us. I personally feel... Sorry about that. I just heard sound that triggered a memory. I'm sorry, I'm trying really hard not to, I'm trying to distract myself, and I figured what best way to distract myself than to make a video while I'm getting triggered. Yay. Specifically, for me, I'm not sure about other people, but I can only speak for myself. For me, specifically, it's multiple events that accumulated in a very traumatic life that I've had. And sad to say that that is life. It sucks. It sucks that I've had to experience that. It sucks that other people have to experience that. It sucks even more that other people will experience that in the future, because humans are stupid. However, it's not surprising. And if my voice sounds a bit shaky, it's because I'm currently low-key, just slightly, just ever so slightly triggered right now, and I fear for my safety, and I do not feel that I'm able to keep myself safe or sane. So I figured, again, maybe making a video will help, maybe putting my thoughts down will help, and I don't know, but the idea of celebrating something with explosions seems very stupid to me. Kind of like, oh, it's a gender reveal, let's have explosions. Why? I don't know. Mayhaps someone can explain to me. So mayhaps it is my delusion. Maybe if you can see my hand. So when I get triggered, I get shaky. I start shaking uncontrollably. I shake. Aside from shaking, my breathing will get harsh. My heart rate will get much faster, which is currently not surprising to me. It is a little bit elevated, but not too much, because I am trying to control it. In most times when I do try to control it, I am able to control it. However, it is considered a trigger. It's still a trigger. So if I get triggered, I am not responsible for what I may do, because I am in a fight or flight response automatically. And this is something that I don't know how to deal with it sometimes. I know how to deal with it most times. I've gotten good at it. I've desensitized myself, specifically by playing first-person, third-person shooters and playing video games, which is why in my Bully Hunters 2 cents video, I said that I managed to say like first-person shooter, SPF a bunch of times, because my brain was focused on the fact that I prioritized those types of video games over other games, so I can use them to desensitize myself from the sounds of war, gunfire, explosions, and those things, which are, in a video game, is the most controlled setting that I can use to desensitize myself from those sounds. And I will never be fully desensitized, simply because there's trauma, deep, multiple years of trauma. So it's not something that I necessarily want to talk about, but I know it's important, and if anyone else is feeling it around this time, because people don't know that in the state that I'm living in, it's illegal to have fireworks, especially the fireworks that I have. And I will try, maybe I won't, I'm not sure. Maybe I will insert a picture without doxing myself of the fireworks that I was experiencing, and I'll probably put it all blurry because I think it does have a landmark which can be used to find where I'm currently living, and since I'm not in the mood to dox myself, I'm not going to do that. And so it's just going to show the colors. And for me, it's not just because war, it's not just the sound of the fireworks themselves, it's the light. And my neighbors have been using a particular firework that has quick successions, like a pew 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 type of thing, and that plus the light combo plus the sound definitely triggered something. So I had to call for help and assistance. I had any line, and I feel bad because I know that this is not war, but my brain doesn't know that. And so I'm terrified, I'm scared, but still I know that this will pass, and I guess that's where I can take some comfort. And if you're wondering, yes, I am still shaking because my body and my mind think that this is war, and I'm not in war. I haven't been in war for a long time, and my brain is like, oh, this is war. This is what this is. And it brings me back in a time and space where I was feeling the same amount of fear, where I was hearing the same sounds, and I'm terrified, and that sucks, but I will be okay. I know I will be okay. I just have to get through this. It's just a few more days, and usually they quiet down because the cops in the city that I live in do not mess around with that. They're actually, I'm grateful that they are very about their business, and so they take this stuff seriously because it could cause fires, and it is a somewhat residential area, and so they don't want to mess around with that, and neither do I. I'm just not able to do anything other than ball up into a little ball and cry, go into a corner and cry, shiver, and potentially start crying. And that's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, I will physically harm someone else, which I don't want to do that. Go figure. I don't like the violence. I prefer, which is why, if there was a need, which is why I usually say peace at the end of my videos, because the world doesn't need more violence. I think it needs far more peace and stability, which I am not. So, I'm sorry this wasn't a fun video. My mental states don't really let me have a lot of fun videos a lot of the time, and I am working on my shit. I am trying to do the techniques that not only I've learned in therapy, but I've learned throughout the years by myself, which one of them is what I call grounding, is when I usually repeat where I am. I'm not going to do this on stream because, again, I'm not going to dox myself, but I usually do that is I tell myself the things like where I am, how old I am, what day is it, what city am I in, what country am I in, what year is it. That usually helps me center a little bit of myself. It does help me center myself a little bit. And I was on the phone with the hospital, and the person that I got on the line was really nice and was like, I understand you're not, because I told her I feel like I'm going crazy. She said, you're not going crazy. Try to see points, try to find 3 random objects in your room. Sorry, my alarm. So the person that I was on the phone with, she told me to ground myself by pointing out different colored things. Like, if there's some red things in your room, what are the red things around you? And I couldn't see anything because I, for some odd reason, like a dumbass, decided to be in the dark in the middle of those explosions, which only helped perpetuate my mental state instead of taking me out of it. But it did help a little bit. She told me, name a couple things that are green in your room, yellow, red, and the colors. Focus on something other than the sounds and the flashing that caused me to have a triggered episode from War, which, if you couldn't tell right now, that again, I was like this, but a little bit worse. I was shivering, even more than I am now. I was crying. I was hyperventilating, which is usually the best part. That's the easiest, best part of this mental disorder that I have. I don't like it. And for anyone that says, oh, you have PTSD, you know there's other people who have war, go where the sun does shine. Drown yourself. I'm sorry. I don't understand why you feel the need to tell me that, as if I don't know. The good thing is I have a lot of apps that help me with meditation. I'm actually been really good at meditating from a long time ago. I started meditating on my own to try to cure my anger because I have a huge anger problem. But the meditation didn't help with... Actually, I lied. I started meditating to help with my depression, but it didn't help with my depression. It only helped with my anger, which is good, so it wasn't a complete waste of time. So I can meditate for a long time. I can meditate quite easily. I can go back into a mental space where I feel safe in here, even though around me I'm not safe. And I was trying to do that, but I couldn't because I was way too far gone beyond my trigger, where I didn't want to do anything aside from disappear. And it sucks that I know every year this has to happen. There hasn't been a year where I'm just quiet and peace away from people doing this, and I'm not happy. I'm not. I mean, like, I know this is something logically, and this is the problem. I lose my logic when I'm triggered, but logically I know that this is a temporary thing. I am not in war. This is just a sound. It's just a firework. It's not a bomb. So I should be safe. But there's a part of me that is not in the moment. It's back when the war was happening, that's scared and terrified, and that part of me is coming to the forefront every time that I try to not get triggered, but I get triggered, so I hate it. PTSD, not fun. And I don't know, I kind of want to keep playing Warframe with my headset on so I don't have to hear the fireworks, so I don't get triggered, but then I'm scared that if I do, I'm going to get triggered because then I'm going to start hearing more gunfires, but so I just have to avoid certain weapons in the game. So it's like, I'm already triggered, so not much I can do to untrigger myself. There's things I can do to help me calm down, but not necessarily untrigger myself, especially if the fireworks are just going to keep happening. Just like in the war, the gunfire and the explosions just kept happening and happening, and there was no peace. And I right now feel very bad for people experiencing this. I'm sorry, I'm trying to calm myself down. I'm not sure if I'm gonna stream again. I might not. I'm just doing a quick video to keep my mind busy, keep myself out of this headspace because I know it's not good, and I'm sorry. I'm trying. If anyone is rooting for me, thank you. I appreciate it. And I too am rooting for myself, and I'm going to try to keep doing my best because I've raised myself. I know I didn't do a good job at it, but I am trying my best with what life has given me, and I appreciate anyone who hopes the same for me. Even if you don't say it, just think it, just energy, positive. I appreciate it. I don't like thinking about this. I'm going to focus on something like a language. Maybe I will play my instruments. I have 3 different instruments that I can play. Maybe I'll play one of those, or I will write or do something creative like painting that would try to keep my mind busy off of this. I personally don't like creating art when I am triggered, and I don't like creating poetry. Is the only art that I will create when I'm feeling depressed or angry or triggered, because poetry is whatever, and even if I'm having a good day and I'm rereading what I wrote in my 4th language, I will try to spell check it and make it better, where as opposed to a drawing that I draw when I'm triggered, I will just want to rip up or set on fire. Same thing with the painting, I'm going to want to paint over it. Same thing with like any other art thing, a clay sculpture, arts and crafts. And yes, I am rambling because I don't want to think about the sounds, and I probably should focus on editing this video and uploading the other video that I made. So I'm gonna go, I'm gonna take care of myself, I'm going to keep myself safe. If I need to, I will call the hospital again, and I actually might check myself in because I'm starting to feel really unsafe, and this is not a feeling that I like. It's not a feeling that I want to feel, and there's a lot of emotions. I'm sorry, I'm gonna try to choke them all back, because that's always what I've done, choke my emotions back, and to the point that it's really unhealthy. And I'm trying to be healthier. I'm trying to do better, be better, and so I'm going to try to do that. Sorry that again, this is not a fun video. With mental illnesses, as many as I have, it's never really 24/7 happy joy, and I do try to be happy and smile, but it doesn't always happen. Anyways, this has been, sorry if it's not a happy video, but this has been Telechaos here. Peace. Bye.